Welcome back to the channel, everybody, for another ESO build video. I'm your boy Fuzzy. Today I'm going to be showing you my MagDK build for the Flames of Ambition patch. But first, before I get into the build, if you like the content on this channel, make sure to hit that like, subscribe, and push that notification bell to get the latest content from the channel. But now let's get into it. So to start it off, pretty much this build is awesome. It works very great. We have good damages, great survivability, as you can see in the 1vx clip that I already put out and in this clip right here. This build works really good in IC, BGs, and Cyrodiil. It's a no proc build, but it works good in all areas of PvP, which is awesome, so you really don't have to change anything out. The clip you're seeing in the background, this is actually like a 20-minute fight. So I just put in like the first 2 minutes of the fight because we just had yellows keep coming down. It was like, it gets to like 8 to 10 yellows that were battling the whole entire time, and ultimately it goes on too long. So I just put in the first couple minutes of it. I end up dying at the end of it, but we end up taking out I don't know, this group out like 6 times before they end up killing us. But besides that, the build's a lot of fun. Like I said, it's got great survivability, does a lot of damage. There's 2 ways to run it, so I'll have 2 builds on this that I'll be going over, and then there's also 2 different ways to run each of the builds, depending on your preference and playstyle. One will give you a lot more damage, the way we run it, and then the other one will just pretty much not as much damage, but it still works really, really well, and feels more bit of a fluidity feel vibe to it. So also, I'll have timestamps in the descriptions down below for the gameplay and the build and where everything's at in this video, and then along with we'll have links for the descriptions for more gameplay in the 1vx also down in the description below, so you can check those out if you want to see more. I put some gameplay of Cyrodiil and IC in here, and then I also actually got some BG's gameplay too that's really good, so I'll probably post that a little bit later if everyone wants to see it, but for right now, there should be enough content for you guys to check out and see that the build works really well, and a bunch of people have been asking for it. So here it is, and I'll stop talking and let this clip finish playing out, and we'll get right into it, and I'll see you in about 10 seconds. Alright, here we are. Let's hop into the character sheet. So overall, we're sitting pretty well on the front bar. We have really good resistances, good resources, bit of everything, good health, all that. Our spell damage unbuffed is only 2742, but it actually goes up to almost 4.1 K spell damage, so it's not bad. That's plenty of spell damage. Our spell crit we're not too worried about, and then we have almost 10k penetration, but it actually goes up to 16k when you fully buff up on a target. Our resistances are really good unbuffed, and same with our critical resistance. Now we go to the back bar. Pretty much the same on everything except for the damage. Overall, it's really nice. We got a little more resistances on the back bar because of the sword and board. You can't go resto staff if you want. That's completely optional. If you do go resto staff, go with defending. So if we go back to the front bar, pop this, and get this. And now we'll go back. So we'll be sitting at 33,000 spell and almost 27k physical on the front bar, which is really nice. Then back bar, we're going to be sitting at almost 35 on spell, and we're at a little over 28.5k physical on the back bar. So it's really good. We got 30% spell crit on the back bar too, so it helps with our healing a lot. I am an Argonian on this build. You can go with Nord or Dark Elf. People talk a lot of crap about Nord, but Nord's still really good in my opinion. Dark Elf is really good too. It's my other favorite race, so you can go with any of those. I like the Argonian, so that's why I'm with Argonian. We have 64 points into Magicka. We are using Bewitched Sugar Skulls, and I'm using the Atronach for Magic Recovery. You don't have to go with this much recovery, but playing in the lag in this game right now, and abilities not working, sometimes it takes my Magicka but doesn't cast my ability, so I feel that I need a lot more sustain than I normally would. Normally you'd only need about 1500 recovery for a MagDK, but unfortunately right now in this patch stuff's not working as it's supposed to, so I'm going with more recovery, but you don't have to go this way. Now let's go into our inventory. Slottables, like I said, Bewitched Sugar Skulls works really well. I highly suggest using this or Tri-Stat Food. I'm using Crown Tri-Restoration Potions or Tri-Stat Pots, Essence of Health. You can go with movability pots too, those work really nice. For our first set, we're actually going to be running Fortified Brass. This works really well on the DK. We have plenty of damage and penetration, so we're able to go with a defensive set. This set works really well, especially in light armor. We have a Berserker enchant on here to buff us up to that 4k spell damage. I've sharpened to increase the penetration for our damages, and this set pretty much gives us health, max armor, and then 3,419 more armor. Now, for our back bar, I'm running the Sword of Fortified Brass. I have poisons on here. This drains stamina, Gold Coast draining poisons. You can whatever poisons you want, but drains stamina, magicka. So when you hit the target with your back bar, it works really well. This is gonna give us sharpened on here, is what I have on here, and then the weapon damage, or the weapon damage enchantment, you don't really need to have. It's completely up to you, but you can put restore magicka and health on the back bar if you'd like. Shields, reinforce, max stamina on here, just to help with some blocking, because I block a lot on this build, and roll dodge, but mainly we want to be able to block a lot of the attacks. For our first monster helm is Dummy House Helm, Tri-Stat Enchant, Impenetrable. This is going to give us max stamina, max magicka. For our chest piece is Fortified Brass, reinforce, max magicka on there. Then Valken Scoria Shoulders, light. We're doing 4 light, 3 heavy, but you can go 5 light, 2 heavy if you want. It's completely optional, up to you. If you do heavy, make sure you go helmet, chest, and legs. But anyways, we have Impenetrable on the shoulders with max magicka, and this is going to give us a little bit more spell penetration on there. We have Fortified Brass belt, and then Impenetrable, max magicka. Then we have Amber Plasm. It's going to be our third and final set. So Amber Plasm, we have Impenetrable. It's a light armor set, max magicka on here. We have Fortified Brass pants, heavy, Impenetrable, max magicka. Then we have Amber Plasm boots, Impenetrable, max magicka. You can mix this up how you want, but make sure that you have the Fortified Brass on the chest and the chest and legs for the heavy. Then we have Amber Plasm jewelry, all 3 on here. I have Arcane with the magicka recovery. I left it this way because it worked out really good for me, but you can switch this out for infused if you really want to, or you can just put a weapon damage or a spell damage glyph on here. That's optional. Infused on the ring, spell damage, and then infused on the other ring with magicka recovery. So it pushes us up to like 29k when we really get pushed by a lot of people. If the lag wasn't in here, you could switch a lot of these out for damages. You wouldn't really need the recovery, or you can go cost reduction, but honestly, recovery works well on this build, so that's why I went with this. For the second build, this will be more for geared towards like if you're in group play, if you're like 3-man teams, or a group of 3 to 6 to 8, whatever you're in. For the smaller groups, we can switch it out, but we'll be running still Fortified Brass Inferno Staff, Weapon Damage Enchant, Sharpen. Most of it's the same except for 5 pieces. We're just switching out. And you can actually run Fortified Brass, Greatsword, and the Greatsword will actually give you a lot more damage, and since we're in melee range, it works well. You're sitting at, on the right of the screen, 3244, so it's going to increase our damage by 500 just for having a Greatsword on. Also, you get Sharpen on it, so you're getting more damage plus the same penetration, which is really nice. As you see, we're at 13,338 spell penetration, so swords do work. I just found it a little clunky and it wasn't working as well because of the lag in the patch, so that was just me, but normally I would play with the sword. I like it better than the staff. This is optional, you don't have to do it this way. Back bar, you also can use the restoration staff. Put defending on it. Defending helps really well. You can put powered or Nirnhone if you want, but preferably I like the defending because it still keeps our resistances way up there. And then also put life drain enchantment on there, so you deal magic damage, restores health, or you can do restores magicka, completely optional. Same helm, Dummy House, Impenetrable, reinforced chest, fortified, Valken Scoria on the shoulders. Still 4 light, 3 heavy, completely all the same except for right here. Hands, we're going to be running spinners instead on this one. Impenetrable, max magicka, and then boots, we're going to be running Impenetrable, max magicka, and all these are still the same except for the boots and the arms. And then we just switch out the jewelry for spinners, so it's an easy switch. We have all infused on here. I have 1 spell damage glyph, and then the other 2 are going to be magicka recovery glyphs. Like I said, this patch is super laggy, and I find that my skills won't proc, but it'll take the magicka sometimes, so I don't want to run out of resources and not get anything for it, so that's why I have more into recovery, but normally you wouldn't need that. So it's completely optional. You can switch these out for damages too if you want, like infused spell damages. Those are completely optional. Now let's go to our skills. So front bar, we're running Engulfing Flames right here. These are unbuffed tooltips. It's really good. It's just a good dot, so we're going to put a lot of pressure on them with this. Plus, if you use it multiple times, it can increase your damage of your whip, and then also it increases your damage over time from all your flame damage attacks to 8%. It can go up to 10 if you have it fully buffed up. Burning Embers, this is going to be another dot, deals good damage. This also can do a really good heal, so if you put this on your target and within like 7 to 8 seconds, if you let it go the whole way, you'll get a really big tick, but if you get close to like 10 seconds and you're getting bogged down, you can't switch to your back bar, you hit them again with Burning Embers, and this will actually give you a really nice heal and heal you up without you having to go to your back bar. Elemental Drain, this is going to put Major Breach on the target and also give us Magicka back with Magicka Steel. Then we have Molten Whip. This is our main spammable. Unbuffed tooltip. It looks a little low, but it goes a lot higher. All this stuff does when we're fully buffed up. Also, it can increase the damage of your spell damage, and when you hit like 3 of your Engulfing Flames, this will increase the whip's potency of taking down opponents. Then we have Fossilize. This is going to be our main CC. This CC cannot be blocked or dodged, so it's a really good CC. It's one of the best CCs in the game. Then we have Ferocious Leap. Ferocious Leap tooltip goes a lot higher than this, but it's still not as good as when you're on the stamina character, but it's still good because it also gives us a damage shield. The damage shield actually goes up when we're fully buffed up. I think it's like 18k damage shield or 20k damage shield when we're fully buffed, so it's not bad. Then we go to the back bar. We have Fragmented Shield. This gives us a little bit of a minor shield, plus gives us Healing Done, which is our major mending for 16% for 6 seconds. So you're going to hit this, then you're going to hit your Coagulating Blood. Coagulating Blood is going to give you an overall nice bursty heal. It's really nice, and then it also gives you Major Fortitude, increasing your health recovery by 30%. Then we have Hardened Armor, and Hardened Armor is going to give us our Major Resolve, which is important, gives us a little bit of a damage shield and returns some magic damage to the enemies. Then we have Cauterize. Cauterize is another really good one. This heals us every 5 seconds or an ally, but if you're playing by yourself, it's a really good heal. And then also you get Major Prophecy while it's slotted, so we're at 30% for healing crit wise on our back bar, which is really nice. And then we have Degeneration. This is going to give us our Major Sorcery for 20 seconds, and it puts a little bit of a dot on the target also. Then we have Spell Wall. This is really important. This is a good ability to have on the back bar because it can really save your butt if you're in a really tight situation with multiple opponents hitting you. If you pop this thing, you won't pretty much take damage for like 6-7 seconds, which is really nice. Now if we go back to our front bar, if you run Sword and Board instead of the staff, you're going to take Elemental Drain off, you'll put Degeneration on the front bar, and then you'll take Degeneration off the back bar, and you will put Pierce Armor. I know this sounds crazy, but it actually works. It's just I haven't been using it because of the lag, but if you're not having problems with lag, I suggest you trying this out. It's pretty fun. It's sort of cool. You're a Magicka character, but you look like a stamina character. It works really well. You just hit him with your Pierce Armor, and then you have your Degeneration on the front bar. So you get also, this will not only put the Major Resolve on, or Major Breach, but it will also put another almost 3k penetration on the target too. So overall you'll be sitting at like 22k pen if you're with the spinners. If you're not with the spinners, the other one you'll be sitting about 18 to 19k pen. So it's completely optional. It's up to you if you guys want to play that way. You don't have to, but it is a fun and different way to play. Now let's go into our champion points. So the main ones I'm using here is Eldritch Insight. I have 20 into Bless for 2% healing. Then we go into here, we have 10 into Quick Recovery, 30 into Hardy. This is for your physical attacks from stamina characters and stuff like that. Poison, disease, damage, and bleed. Main one to have is your Resilience, Critical Resistance, 50 into there. We have Duelist Rebuff. This is a really important one too. It's your direct damage attacks taken. So these two are really important, but if you don't want to use the critical resistance ones, you can take those points and put them into unsaleable. This is completely optional if you want. This will help attack or help against like Wardens and Templars. Sometimes I switch them around. It just depends, but for the most part, I don't have too much problem with the Templars. I just won't fight them because I'll be sitting there for 10 minutes and they can cleanse your dots, but their jabs hit really hard, but I'm able to take them for the most part. Then we have into here, we have 40 for piercing. And then we have Flawless Ritual to get that 60% increased chance for the magical status effects applied. And then we have 50 into deadly aim, just pretty much for our whips. You don't have to have this in there. You could actually take this out and put these in here also. So that's completely optional. This just buffs our whip, really. That's about the only thing it buffs up. So it's not a must. Your whip will go down a little bit, but that's optional if you want to do that. And then the main one that you need to have for damages, though, is Thaumaturge. This is going to increase our dots by 10%. Then if we go to the red tree, I have 15 into Tumbling, 10 into Mystic Tenacity, just to get that in there. I would put more here if I had more points, but I don't. 40 into Hero's Vigor to increase our health, which is really important. I have 30 into reduce the cost of Break Free. And then I have Jugernaut, which is really important. This is your crowd control immunity and taking less damage while you're in that. So if you're getting stunned, off balance, CC'd, any of that stuff, and you're not able to break free all the time or whatever it is, you're also going to take way less damage, 10% less damage than you would if you didn't have that. Rejuvenation for our recoveries. We need a little bit more recoveries, but you don't have to run this. You can put this into here, right here, if you want. That's completely optional. And then I wanted Ironclad for more resistances. I like the resistances on the MagDK. And then we have Boundless Vitality. Increases our max health by 1400, which is also important. Then our green tree. This is optional for you, really. The main ones you want to focus on, you can do Breakfall, reduce our fall damage because I jump off keeps a lot. Steadfast Enchantment just pretty much slows down the decay of our having to recharge our weapons. And then right here adds 30 minutes to our Rationeer, adds 30 minutes to our food or drink. And then Liquid Efficiency, you have a 10% chance not to consume your pot. And then this one right here is our main one, Steed's Blessing. Increase your out of combat movement speed by 4%, or by 0.4% per stage, but we get 20%, so it allows you to catch up to people or run away if you're not in combat or whatever. If you see them coming, it's completely optional and up to you. I'm pretty sure I covered everything. If I missed anything, just let me know in the comment sections down below. I appreciate it all stopping by and checking out the video, and I will catch you guys on the next one.